Welcome to Reread, where I'm rereading through the expanded universe in chronological order. Folks, we're on the novel Jedi Trial by David Sherman and Dan Cragg. These are two guys who write a bunch of military books. And you can tell, because this is not a Star Wars book, this is a military book, not even set in the Star Wars universe. Okay, it is, but it's almost like it was forced in. First off, here we have the Anakin that you see there is not the Anakin that's in the book. He's still a Padawan. He's not the Jedi Knight, not the guy from Episode 3. He doesn't have a scar yet. So the cover doesn't make any sense. Plus, you could tell they didn't want to write Obi-Wan because in the first two pages, I believe, he's out. Well, Anakin, I'm going on a mission. What? The Jedi Council has sent me on a mission on my own. What? Yes. And when I come back, I'm going to talk to them about making you a Jedi Knight. Oh, but I'll never be a Jedi Knight, Obi-Wan. Yes, you will. Padawan, I promise. Bye. And that's it. Then bye, Obi-Wan. Never even comes back at the end of the book. I mean, you couldn't think of a better idea to get rid of him. They just want to start with Anakin. They do have Neha Halson, or whatever, Cornhorn's father in this. And this is where he and Anakin are supposed to bond. They have two sparring sessions where you could tell they didn't know what lightsabers were. They're like, ooh, light sticks. They dodge, parry, thrust. And, ooh, what a workout. They're all hot and sweaty. And, hey, maybe we'll do this workout next week. And then there's 60 pages of these two grunts, a guy and a girl who are in the army of the Republic, which aren't clones. They're the non-clone army. And 60 pages. Or 80 maybe. I think it may be 80. Anyway, you don't care about them. You don't know what they're doing. They're on some mission. They're laughing back and forth. You think the fly boys are going to get us? Oh, look out, the artillery. I mean, blaster fire. After this, you owe me a round of beers. I'm not kidding. They said beers. All right? And you're like, who cares about these people? Then it goes back to Anakin and Neha, and they do another sparring. And then another 40 pages of the two grunts, which we don't care about. And then Halcon, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. He goes before the Jedi Council and go, we need you to lead a troop of clones over to this planet where the two grunts are working on because they need backup. Okay. And he said, you seem to be the Jedi for the plus you're the only one hanging out around the temple, I guess. He said, who would you like your second in command? He goes, Anakin. They're like, Anakin Skywalker? You would want him? I'm kind of confused, says Mace Windu. Honestly, the characters do not sound like themselves. These guys, maybe they watched Star Wars once a long time ago, but it's almost like the editor had to go in there and goes, hey guys, you can't say artillery fire all through the night. Say blaster. They listen to blaster fire all through the night. Because that's what one of the lines are. They listen to blaster fire all through the night. One night on the planet. These clones say oorah. When Anakin becomes their commander, he does a weapons inspection. Inspecting them for no dirt, no grease. They were well oiled and assembled, and keeping. There's an important lesson in that chapter about keeping your equipment in a good state of repair, because these guys are military writers. They don't know anything about Star Wars. There's another chapter where Anakin has a discussion with a quartermaster who's talking about the importance of making sure you have enough supplies for any occasion. Don't overorder, don't undersupply. Judge your market. For every one death, there are 3 injuries, and yada, crunching the numbers. And Anakin's like, I need to look at this annex report he's talking about because I want to study that. Great, you gave us a lesson in what a quartermaster does for one whole chapter. Moving on. There are tons of military references here, more than what you'd see, I think, in an average Clone Wars novel. Mortar rounds, shell, they gave them a hard shelling. I get it. I mean, you could have tanks. There are tanks in the Clone Wars, but it felt more military and very little sci-fi. I honestly think the editor was the one who switched things to make it look sci-fi. Hey guys, you can't call this guy Bert. Call him Slade with a Y. Something different. They go, okay. One time, I can't remember, it was Anakin, they ignite their lightsaber, and one of the clones goes, ooh, pretty light. It's a lightsaber. Let me show you. And all they do, all the adventure with lightsabers is they take a swipe at a droid and cut it in half. And then blaster fire. Then it's all guns and ammo and military stuff. So we check that box with a little light glowing sword, is what they did. There's one where they fight hand to hand, just practicing with one of the clones, and the Jedi Master Halcon decides not to use the Force to try to beat the clone, and they respect him for that. That's because the authors had no idea what the Force could do, and they didn't want to deal with that mumbo jumbo. They just wanted to write their military story. This is really bad. One of the lines in there is someone goes, "Great balls of fire," because that's something you say in a galaxy far, far away. There's another chapter where Anakin is writing, if he dies, a letter to Padme. "My dearest Padme, the war has been long in the Clone Wars. I miss your breath. I miss the skin, the softness of your skin, the touch of whatever." And then after Anakin wrote it, he felt a little embarrassed that those words came out of his mouth. But then he folded the envelope for Senator Padme, Senator Amidala's eyes only, and then sealed it and put it in his coat pocket, just in case something was to happen to him. There is another one where there's this grunt, his name is Grudo. He dies from friendly fire, and Anakin's so mad. What's so friendly about fire? A comment that they'll make later on in the book, again, just because they thought that was a neat concept. What's so friendly about friendly fires? It can be deadly. It can hurt your friends. And as Grudo dies, Anakin's angry. "You will be avenged." Are you going to kill your own people? Because friendly fire. But no, he's going to get vengeance on the separatists. Well, then later on, he finds the man who accidentally shot Grudo. He goes, "You were the one who shot Grudo and killed him?" "Yes, sir, it was an accident." And Anakin goes up to him and says, "Don't worry, trooper. It happens in these hard times. Now get your head straight. Let's go." I was like, what happened to justice for Grudo? I guess you didn't care, and no one cares when he dies. It's really dumb. Oh, by the way, the two grunts, the guy and the girl, they ask Anakin to marry them at the end. Awesome stuff. The separatist leader is a Mun who drinks a bunch of tea, and they talk about his bad teeth, how his teeth are all stained and ugly. I guess they're making fun of English people. I don't know. He's kind of sexually attracted to Commander Ventress. They keep calling her Commander. And I guess because they felt like, well, everyone has to have a military title. It's the only time I've ever seen Commander Ventress mentioned anywhere. Oh, there's one where they said, "Jedi Master Halcon." He said, "Just call me General." Yeah, because they didn't want to talk about Jedi anymore. They just want to call them by General. They're military names because these are military writers. There's this message. He makes, the Mun makes this captive read the message, forcing them, it's like, "Surrender now or they will kill me and my people every hour," or whatever. And he said, "Read this paragraph." And it's this big long paragraph and we have to read it. Well, then he goes, "Okay, you got it? All right, let's record it." And then she reads off the exact same paragraph that we just read. Except at the end, instead of say, "Please stand down," she goes, "Please, attack, attack, attack." And that's how it ends. You're like, oh, okay, are they going to attack? No, because we have to listen to this message in its entirety 2 more times. See, it gets to Counselor Palpatine, who listens to the whole message. We got to read it over again. He goes, And then it goes to Anakin and Obi-Wan. Like, seriously, in the next chapter, there's the paragraph again. They get the message. Why can't it just say the very last line, attack, 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 the line, and why can't it just do that? I guess they need to pad some pages there. I don't know. Wow, I remember saying that these Clone Wars novels were like mediocre at best, but I'm going to have to redo my top 10 worst books after this, because it looks like not every single Clone Wars book, but the ones I've read so far, garbage. This is terrible. It shouldn't even be a Star Wars book. It's a military book with Star Wars characters sprinkled in there to maybe pass as one. The worst offense, I forgot to mention, even though Neha Halcron and Anakin Skywalker do not know each other that well. They had 2 sparring sessions, and then he brings him onto the team and says, brings him onto the army and says, "All right, you're a commander now. You need to get the respect of your troops." And then, of course, there's more, 20 more pages of the 2 grunts we don't care about. And then Neha tells him, as they're sitting on the bridge, "I have a wife and a kid. I don't live by the Jedi Order or code. I have a wife and a kid." Why would you reveal that? You don't know him that well. They didn't have any moments together before this. When I first read this, I thought, oh, that's a great moment. If I remembered it right, I was like, yeah, I remember that's a great moment because that makes Anakin give him hope that there's other people who are married, other Jedi breaking the code. Well, then he goes, "You're not going to turn me in, Anakin, are you?" And Anakin goes, "No, because I have a wife too, Padme Amidala." I'm like, Why would you tell anyone that? Why would you? You don't even know him. There's no camaraderie built up between them at all in the book. They're sparring buddies for 2 sessions, and then the Jedi Master brings Anakin along with him on because he trusts him. You know, don't worry, Anakin, you'll be a Jedi Knight soon. Oh, thanks. I'm married too. Garbage. An atrocity. This wasn't in my top 10 worst. Something that I will be doing once all this is done. I'll refilm my top 10 worst books. Watch this one be in it. I'd be shocked if the Bantam era. I apologize for any books from the Bantam era I put in the top 10 worst books because, goodness gracious, I just forgotten how bad Clone Wars novels can be. All right, folks, that's it for now. See you next time.